on, bitch. Fuck, I look like Sally Mae. I get on my mean shit when I go and grab the drink. Gave my mama a house in the car, she got the happy face. Took a bitch to go and eat some burgers, we having crabby dates. Nigga, I'm supposed to smoke, but they burnt out. She a good girl, she took a trip with us, now she turned out. Bitch, we
Hey man, say man, it's your boy Dez, and we're acting the Larry Bird stories that prove he's the best trash talker. Now me personally, I hate trash talkers. If I'm playing Call of Duty and somebody trash talk me, I'm gonna get the upper one hand on you. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about trash talkers. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And I'm goated at basketball. I got the Under Armour shirt on. That means I will cook all of y'all in basketball. So don't test me, cause we can go there. Y'all let me know also y'all favorite basketball player. Larry Bird, I haven't heard much about him, but we're about to today.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles.
Bird used to tell me, look here, man, you supposed to be a great defender, right? And I'm gonna make.
If you know, you know. Also, another player was supposed to be on the Boston Celtics, but he sadly passed away.
Make sure I tell you where I'm gonna shoot the ball at.
Yeah,
He was from my hometown.
Right here, I'm gonna shoot it right in your face.
And I'm looking at this guy like...
The biggest what if ever in basketball.
I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
And that's
Ooh, he was cold.
If he tell you gonna hit a
He's
shot,
handing out
certain
Christmas
play,
presents,
you gonna
jumping
do
and
just
dunking
that.
in your
Ain't nothing
face.
you can do about it.
Been a better player each step I took. I was able to look more than the other guys. I had a green light. I can make plays. But
That's one thing about people. Like, he doesn't even sound like he's really that cold, but as soon as he step on the court, he's a whole different person.
I always knew
He must got an alter ego on the
especially
court.
when I was a junior, senior high school, that probably the outcome of the game was going to depend on me.
Well, yeah, I interviewed Gary Payton, a venomous trash talker. And I asked him who the most vicious trash talker he's ever encountered. He said Larry Bird.
Oh, no question.
Bird talk
Really?
shit,
I thought the greatest trash talker was Kevin
Bird
Garnett.
used to tell me, look here, man, I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit. He told me, young fella,
I would be afraid of him.
I can shoot a jumper anywhere I want to.
Just let me
You supposed to be a
forfeit.
great defender, right? I'm gonna make sure I tell you where I'm gonna shoot the ball.
Because most people who trash
Yeah,
talk can't back it up.
Now, you're not gonna shoot the ball. And so he said, I'm gonna take you over in that corner right there. You see it over there by my bench, right? And I'm gonna give you something, and it's gonna be this jumper. So he went right.
Man, I can't imagine me trash talking during the game because I would be a bench warmer. I'm going to be honest with you.
to that corner.
I'm going to make
and
sure I'm a
walking
water
around
boy,
wondering-
the seats warm.
He said, young fella, what did I tell you I was going to do? And he turned around, raised up.
Because I'm like 5'2". How tall is Larry Bird? 6'4"?
I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats. They'll be always mentioning him. He was the shit. Yeah. The shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold.
Bird didn't talk trash to you,
Oh
did
my God, Bird talks
Charles
trash to
Barkley.
everybody. I always tell the story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his
It's
breath.
weird to hear about him
I asked
because
him,
you don't hear
"Larry,
nothing
what's
about
going on
him.
with you?" He says, "You guys are being disrespectful to me." And I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You guys are putting a white guy on me." That's disrespectful. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. He says,
Bro, that would be even offensive if it was a Black History Month.
Larry said, I'm insulted
Did he
that
cook
Larry
you?
puts a sorry dude like you on me. He said, no, I don't even want to play no more. He would drop the ball and take a turnover. And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts, you know?
The story goes that when he played against Denver, they had a guy named John Hansley, a white guy, a really good defender, right?
Okay.
They put him on Larry, and Larry was weighing his ass out. And Larry would run by the bench and tell Doug Moe, who was the coach, get him off me. That's disrespect.
Y'all let me know if the NBA was harder in the 90s or now.
Put a black guy on me. Because when he played back in the day, that's all
I
he
have
had
no
against
idea.
his
It's a
brothers.
competition.
So he was like, I had to torch his ass so they understand.
And Larry got on the roll, started shooting the ball. Every shot was going in. All right, he runs by Frank Layden, who's the funniest guy in the league. And Frank is coaching, and Larry says to him, hey, Frank, don't you have
Larry
anybody
Bird
that
wasn't
thinks
getting
you can
coached. He
guard
was coaching
me?" He
himself
goes,
and
"Nobody
everybody
out
else.
here can."
I don't believe it.
Frank looked down at the bench and goes, no.
Along with Steve Jones and Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Just moments before the American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout.
All-Star game.
He had a weird jump shot. He shot like
He
this,
starts looking
like
at
actually a
guys, doesn't say a
bird.
word, and people are getting kind of nervous. Everybody's sitting there. Everybody's real quiet. You knew the guys, but you never were around them. And nobody's really saying anything. So I walk in and look around, and then he finally speaks and says, I'm just looking to see who's going to finish second.
And says, I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this.
Excuse me?
Did you really say that? Who's playing
That's
for
a
second?
bad man.
Yeah, I did. I felt so bad.
When you walked in there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys?
I know going into that, I remember in the locker room, Robert said something that there's no way in the hell I was going to win that 3-point contest. So I knew right then I had to win it.
That chick said my name on it for a week.
My apologies, but what is Larry Bird most noticed for? His 3-point shooting, his flashy layups, his dunks.
Man, I knew I was going to win this thing.
Because I wasn't around, obviously,
I
back
wasn't
then.
going to win it, but I came back and lucked out, really.
Bird would luck out again the next year, but in 1988, it looked like his luck had finally run out.
He certainly doesn't have that normal Bird rhythm going for him. Seconds remaining, has only 7, has to beat 15. That's 8, make it 9, and 10, 11 as we're counting. 13.
A huge rack that time for Bird.
He's still going to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money. Yo!
He hasn't missed.
He knew exactly what the score was. He knew that that ball was going to win the competition for him, and it's almost like he did it in dramatic fashion just to make it more fun.
He knew it when he let it go.
He got to be a fortune teller. How did he know he was going to win?
Larry used to come in the locker rooms. He'd be getting his ankles taped, and he'd say, you know, hey, ball boy, run in and go find the scoring record in this building. You know, he needed those kind of challenges.
He had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip, and Larry told.
Ooh, their record must have been good then.
At least through 3 quarters.
It was at a time when, you know, McHale was still coming off the bench.
And so Larry scores his 6th.
You know,
Okay, make sure you look at these plays because most of you people who consider yourself basketball players, you cannot hit that.
was still coming off the bench.
And so Larry scores his
and that's
6th
simple
point on a left-handed shot.
And I'll never forget it. McHale yells out.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
And at the end of 3 quarters, and I get 27 points left-handed.
Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one.
He could hold all these things in his head during a game. So he'd have a shooting drill at the old Boston Garden.
4:30 in the afternoon. I was an early guy. I'd set up early. The garden would be dark.
You know, late in the afternoon.
The Celtics to this day is nice
Come out
though.
with an equipment guy and just do the perimeter.
They always like number 1 in standing. They won a championship.
He'd say that the
they're not gonna win no more.
Something wrong with the rim. You know, otherwise that would have gone in.
I'd get there early, plug in my Stone Age computer right next to the bench. He'd come over, he'd call me Scoop, say, Scoop, what are you working on? I'm saying, I'm doing an early story.
Then I'd say, well, I'm doing an early edition newspaper story about your free throw streak.
You are approximating the NBA record for consecutive free throws, so don't miss one tonight or I'll look bad in the paper.
Sure enough, first half, he goes to the line for 2, and the foul line is lined up right where we're
sitting. Boston Celtics logo is a charm. Maybe they are a charm.
He looks over and winks at me.
He looks over and winks at me before he makes the second. I mean, guys don't do that today. And he would...
Always thinking about these things. It's like paying off a bet in the middle of a game. He was doing 2 things at once.
Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. That was a tough night, man.
But nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying to.
No, but when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots, it's in that game, we're on the free throw line, and he's like, he literally says,
Larry Bird Day.
Who's next? Where do you want this one from? And he just made one after another, and he just tortured them mentally. That game, he tortured all of them.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was.
But where's the trash talking? How was he trash talking? Because a guy like him, he was probably trash talking politely. If you don't go stand over in that corner, I'm gonna shoot in your face, and you're not gonna like it.
Fell in it. He literally said, "Off the glass into the trainer." And,
no way.
Yeah.
His last shot, he said,
"Ooh, okay."
Coming down the court. He shot this high rainbow. It goes in. Ricky bumps into him and he knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it was exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr and Cliff Livingston
got having a bad night.
Coachella, I think,
and Eddie Johnson for celebrating Bird. Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever because that
Larry Bird didn't cook Michael Jordan like that though.
And just went, with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times.
And they show a shot of our bench. Cliff Livingston and Eddie Johnson are standing up giving each other high five.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even the guys on the Atlanta.
He's making the most wildest shot selections ever. What is that? What do you even call that
everybody was
move?
entertained by this. Even the guys on the Atlanta bench.
The float high bird.
Watch the reactions on the Atlanta
The float high
bench.
bird.
You see
They got
Scotty
the towel
Hastings
up there
put them,
laughing.
watch Cliff Levingston over here. I think this is Cliff.
Ooh.
And Fratello wouldn't let it go. He just kept rewinding. Showing the guys, you remember they're giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah,
too.
that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter.
You know you good when a coach doesn't tell you what not to shoot.
And our film session was 20 minutes of that. And, yeah, and so it was a bad night.
The first game against Larry Bird, it was shocking. And I'm a rookie, you know. I go shake his hand, and he put both hands behind his back. And I'm saying, okay, he's getting his head ready to play. First play of the game, he says, I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. I was pissed.
Ooh. Number 33.
You know, I
Better notice.
I wasn't mad he hit the 3, but this bitch just called me Holmes. You know, and so it set
He
up
hung
for
around
a
too many
really
black people. What the freak you
interesting
mean,
game.
Holmes?
'Cause I remember one
What?
time I came down and I dunked
That's
it
not
on him.
even how
He
he's
laid on the ground,
taught.
He fouled me, and I'm pointing, and he said, "Hey, Rook."
Ooh, he
I
dunked
said,
him
"Rook."
though. You gotta
I
see
said,
that. He
laid
got
on the ground,
back.
He fouled me, and I'm pointing, and he said, "Hey, Rook." I said, "What?" He said, "I like you. You know." He said, "You got balls, but I'm still gonna get 30 on you."
He blew him a kiss. He's celebrating early
about
too.
38, so he kind of proved his point. But I had to pay my dues. I wasn't upset about that because, you know, back then, you know, as a rookie, you know, you got to pay your dues. Simple as that.
It was funny, the first time that I played in my rookie year, I guarded Larry Bird, and it took me about 10 minutes to realize I should be probably guarding him instead of staring at him. You know? And he came down, it was funny, he came down one time, and Mark West was the center on our team, and Larry looked at me, and then he looked at Mark, and he said, Mark, I'm going to go down, I'm going to come off the screen, I'm going to catch it right there, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to shoot it in the rookie's face, and then I'm going to
I
run.
wonder if they would ever change the NBA logo, because now that I'm thinking about it, Larry Bird should be the NBA logo for some reason. I don't know why.
Down the floor, and that's exactly what he did.
Because nobody's saying in NBA, let me go play with Jerry West.
Or you weren't
He
good
talked
enough.
through me. He never addressed
You can
me.
get dropped off
I
on the
wouldn't
court you
care.
stepped on.
And did Mark West go on?
Mark was like, all right,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
You probably will. Good luck.
And then he did.
He did it.
Well,
There was nothing I could do about it.
He backed up whatever he said. If he tell you gonna hit a shot to a certain place, or if he gonna take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J, he gonna do just that. Or if he
Now, this was the best move I've seen him do, the best shot selection. He dropped him on the floor.
take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J.
All he did
gonna
was
do
a
just
step
that.
back.
Nothing you can do about it.
These guys
People
came in
nowadays
together.
always do them.
In 81, there's
James
Kevin,
Harden?
there's Larry, there's Robert, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge. They knew what each other could do. And what I did was said, okay, let's see what's happening out there. And you'd see Larry shooting a three-pointer, and then I call a timeout, and they didn't count the three-pointer.
Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot.
Got the other team stressing out.
It won't count. It does not count. Boston had called a timeout.
Larry came back to the bench, and he was a little upset.
So he's very upset with that, so I diagrammed the play. He says, heck with the play, Case. Hey guys, when I come back after timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot. I'm going to kick it in. Give me the ball and tell all the rest of the guys to get out of the way. I said, shut up, Larry. I'm the coach.
Wait, so
here.
was he a ball hogger?
Okay. All right. Dennis, you take the ball out, give it to Kevin, then you throw it to Larry, and everybody get the hell out of the way.
Celtics are down by 2 points, and Bird is out by the three-point line, and he's being guarded by a guy named Johnny High.
He goes down before the ball is thrown in, and he's standing right in front of the Phoenix bench, and he looks at all the guys on the bench and says,
Yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this.
and he says, watch my hand as I follow through.
And, Johnny High sort of smiles and laughs about it.
And I was supposed to cut off the high post and post up for a second and then go across and set a pick. Well, I came off the pick and I was wide open and I stood there waiting for the ball.
Out of everybody on the team, I would trust Larry Bird with the last shot. Tell me I'm wrong.
I had a smaller guy.
He's the
to
best
post
shooter on
up,
that team.
And Larry just waved me out of the way saying, get out of here, get out of the way.
And then he just turns around and shoots a perfect 3.
As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, told you so. He stops running to the locker room.
As he continues on to the dressing room. Now, that's what you call arrogance.
And from that time, I learned to run Larry's play, not the coach's play.
He wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And in case he would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no.
I I don't hear no trash talking. This is more wholesome than trash talking, but we about to get there, are we?
I'm shooting this ball as you would.
I get a charge when I tell someone on the opposing team that I'm going to hit the last second shot and then do it. That's what it's all about.
Tie game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play. And about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? That's Larry. If he wants the ball, he wants the ball.
It's so weird seeing the NBA back then because it's so different now.
Xavier was guarding.
The outfits.
So he tells Xavier,
the cameras.
I'm getting the ball.
I said, I know I'm going to be waiting. And he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
5 and Bird has
Hold on.
basketball. Look out.
Another buzzer beater. Whoo, Larry Bird. Buzzer beater might be his middle name.
Just phenomenal the way that
He came out when about that exact spot and shot a shot right in my face. And, you know, he was like,
Yeah,
I didn't
go
even
home.
leave 2 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. So we playing him the last play. He says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over that corner. And I'm going to catch it, I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ.
You gotta give him more respect.
You DJ coming down, right?
Nobody put him in the top 10 of their favorite basketball players.
So pass it to Larry, he's in that corner. Now I gotta go out and close Larry Bird out. So as I'm running out to Larry Bird, he's talking trash to me. I don't know why you running
He
out
cooked
there.
Magic Johnson.
Who says that in the middle of the game? He said, I'm gonna wait till you get 1 step away from me and I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. So I got 1 step away. He shoots it all net. 3-pointer, good.
Take the.
That would be the day I'll hang up the jersey. What do you mean? You say you're gonna do it and you do it in my face? That's not even just trash talking. That's disrespectful.
Ball out, the man crow right to the corner, caught the
And you know they was fighting back then. They probably squabbled up.
It's like,
Aaron the plumber on the court.
And he turned to me and said, you did all that running for nothing.
And he was saying in such a calm way that you didn't think it was trash talking, but it was trash talking. You're not going to tell me you're going to go over there and shoot the ball in my face. That's trash talking.
Ooh.
But he would tell you before the play even started. He'd tell you where he's going. He'd tell you when he catches, there's nothing you can do about it. He'd tell you.
Okay, that was your fault. You're just jumping in the air like you're on a trampoline park.
Before the play even started. He'd tell you where he's going. He'd tell you when he
Come
catches.
on now, you're not Air Jordan. Buckets.
And it was great trash talking because it wasn't vulgar. I mean, he wasn't pounding his chest. You can just be standing next to him. You know, I would jump out and try to block a shot on rotation. And
I like the trash talking he does though, because he's not using physical trash talk.
Scott, you're a little too late. Scott, you're not getting that. Why are you even jumping? Why are you running out of it?
That was Kevin Garnett.
But it was all game.
He'd say something like, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I mean, he talked the whole game, and it was, you know, after the game and after years of thinking about it, you're like, man, that dude, why he's one of the greatest players ever played.
He was ridiculous. He came on here. Our sportscaster played the Superman theme.
So who do y'all think nowadays in the NBA gets their influence from Larry Bird?
When he was talking about him that night after the game.
Like, who's the best trash talker now?
Points, rebounds, assists, just steals, you name it. Larry has such a great mind for the game. I have a lot of respect for him.
Nothing but net.
That competitive nature, the work ethic, because I asked a lot of questions. You know, playing with Byron Scott, I asked him a lot of questions. Eddie Jones, Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, all the Laker greats, I would always sit down and just ask them questions.
Celtics and Lakers is the biggest rivalry ever.
Bird tough to defend. Why? Because you look slow as shit to me. So I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
You know, like I was saying, growing up in Boston, people all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that.
He can't jump. He doesn't have a high verdict.
It was like that, you know. So I got to the league.
Vertical.
I called all my friends back up. I said, you know, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great.
Boom.
Whatever you were saying for a man
Pow.
who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah, I never forget
Impressive.
driving and I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I don't really care about the game, but New Mexico State is right up the streets from El Paso, and I went to UTEP, and we're big rivalries. So I'm hoping that Indiana State will beat New Mexico State. And I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right. Bird. He makes the strike. Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird? Bird. You know, here's Bird. And Bird this, and Bird. Oh, did you see?
Yeah, most of the points he was carrying.
I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it. When the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play. When I got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture, I said, damn. Larry, it wasn't you know, be honest with you. The young lady that said you were her favorite.
I need to watch more of his gameplay because as much as they talking about him, he might be in the top 10 best NBA players.
Favorite player? Mine too. I love you too, Magic, but not as much as I like Bird.
You could tell somebody's in the top 10 by how other people respect him.
Talk about great basketball players, and they don't never mention him to be up in that round. But Larry,
I just said that.
I don't think nobody ever could get out with him. You ask Magic. That's why Magic had a run, and he was mad when he had to retire in '92 because of what he was going to be missing with Larry Bird.
But you can't take the rankings seriously because some people do rankings now. Like, say somebody say Stephen Curry is more better than LeBron James. Then Stephen Curry wins his 5th ring. Then who's better now? Because they're always going to get one better achievement than the next.
Let's go.
I'm going to tell this story. We're in LA, and I'm hurt. I got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing tonight. So I can't play against the Celtics. You know, I'm killing myself. You know, Larry's warming up. The anthem is sung and get introduced. And right before they go out on the court, Larry comes down. He says, you know what? Since you're here, I'm going to put a show on for you. So you just sit back and watch, okay?
No, he's not putting just a show on for you, for the audience.
I'm going to put
about to
a
embarrass
show
you.
on for you. And I'm like, man, get out of my face,
Double
man.
crossover.
Wanna
Larry
hear
Bird
that?
floater.
Yeah, that's Celtics and the Lakers. And he went out. I think he scored 38 points, about 20 rebounds, about 15 assists. And every shot he would shoot, he would turn to me. Every time he hit one, he look at me. And I said,
and he blew him a kiss.
You know, the thing about it that I love about you,
that's a cold celebration,
is that most guys talk trash and can't back it up. But Mr. Bird, you know you can back your trash talking up. And last but not least, I'm gonna say this because you told me one lie. You only told me one lie in your career. Only one. And you only lied to the fans and all the people in the world one time. Do you know what that lie was? You don't remember, do you? Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever,
he's humble. He said it would be another one of him.
Another Larry Bird. And so, this is mine, and I signed it to you, to the greatest basketball player ever, but more important, a friend forever. I love you, I respect you, and I admire you.
Larry Bird stories that prove he's the best trash talker. We heard nothing but facts because they was actually on the court with him. And he backed it up. Y'all let me know who's in y'all top 10 favorite NBA players. Peace out.